Good evening. Thanks for joining me, Dorothea, through an Orthodox Christian lens. I gave you a little update last night on the Israeli attack on Iran. Just a few minutes. I didn't have much time last night, but I wanted to make sure that I got that out there last night. Since then, obviously, it's been non-stop reports on what's been going on between Israel and Iran. And I'm just going to go over a few things here. First off, I'm going to share Trump's Truth Social post from, I don't know, many hours ago. You probably have already seen it, but I'm going to show you it and share my thoughts. He said, so it was way early. Looks like in the middle of the night, practically. I gave Iran chance after chance to make a deal. Okay, that first line bothers me. Again, the way that comes off sounds like condescending and arrogant. Okay, so I don't care for that kind of talk. What America is missing, by the way, is humility and humbleness. And so is Israel. But, pride comes before the fall. In any case, he continues, I told them in the strongest of words to just do it, but no matter how hard they tried, no matter how close they got, they just couldn't get it done. I told them it would be much worse than anything they know, anticipated, or were told, that the United States makes the best and most lethal military equipment anywhere in the world. Beaten the chest here by far, and that Israel has a lot of it, with much more to come, and they know how to use it. Well, no kidding. They've had decades of practice. Certain Iranian hardliners spoke bravely, but they didn't know what was about to happen. They are all dead now, and it will only get worse. There has already been great death and destruction, but there is still time to make this slaughter, with the next already planned attacks being even more brutal, come to an end. Yes, and guess what? You're complicit. Our government, you and your administration and all the neocons and Zionists in our government are complicit in the death and destruction. Iran must make a deal before there is nothing left and save what was once known as the Iranian Empire. This isn't Ukraine. And Iran, Persia's been around for thousands of years, way longer than we have. This whole thing just sounds so, I know, it just comes off to me as very condescending and arrogant. I suppose maybe he's trying to make a plea here in his weird, strange way that he does these things, but it just bothered me when I read this. My son didn't take it the same way I did. He thought, he was trying to do things. Well, we'll see. No more death, no more destruction. Just do it before it's too late. God bless you all. Well, maybe that's a plea that he thinks, but maybe his hands are tied and he doesn't have any way to do anything. I don't know, but it's very irritating to me. I don't care for all of that. It's... And of course, on posts, you can't get the tone, all this. But even if you heard him, when you hear him talk, he usually sounds pretty condescending, arrogant. So, that was his response to all this. And, I get the idea he assumes it's going to be... I don't know what he assumed was going to happen, but I guess he assumed it was just going to be this little one tit for tat and it's going to be over. Is that what he thinks? I don't know. In any case, let's go on. I want to share... Okay, so Israel targeted Iran's nuclear program, their bases, where the ballistic missiles are, stored. They assassinated, I believe, 3 military leaders and 2 scientists. It just seems to be a Mossad thing, an Israel thing, which is terrible. I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to go, I also want to add to what his Truth Social thing here. He says that, and then the update 35 minutes ago, shifting narratives from U.S. administration on who knew what about Israeli attack. It's a conflicting story when it comes to the Trump administration. Just 24 hours before Israel struck Iran, we saw the president saying that he didn't want to see that happen. He wanted to see diplomacy have a chance. It could blow up the diplomacy. Well, no kidding. Oh my gosh. Okay. Don't forget, his special envoy was scheduled to meet Iranian counterparts in Oman on Sunday. But then we heard Secretary of State Marco Rubio, as the strikes were happening, come out and say this is a unilateral decision by Israel. We were not involved. The U.S. should not be targeted. Now we are hearing from U.S. President Donald Trump speaking to reporters off camera, and he was saying, I've known about this for a very long time. Well, we kind of got the feeling of that, but that's not great. And he is seeing this as a chance to get Iran back to the bargaining table. I don't see this as a chance for Iran to get back to the bargaining table. Not at all. Anyway, okay, so we're going to go over... So that's what I said. Israel struck those. There was some damage at the above-ground nuclear program. But as far as I've read, the... as far as I read, the underground nuclear program doesn't seem to, they don't see signs of damage on that. And then Iran targeted the Ministry of War, or the Ministry of Defense, the hub, the central in Tel Aviv, that main area there called the Curia. That apparently was destroyed. They shot down 2 F-35 jets, and they also struck some of the Israeli military bases as well. I'm going to share this. This is one of the videos on the explosion. I think it's the same one from different angles, but I'm going to share this one first. Iran's missiles coming down in Tel Aviv. That sounds really, really, really loud. I'm going to show you from where am I? I'm going to show you from Mamood's channel. This is, I think, the same thing, but from a different angle. Let's see what he has to say.
We have, or I'll actually keep this live stream, leave you with some of the videos and be back to this live stream. So far, we have at least 300 missiles coming from Iran against Israel. Israel is censoring the majority of them, but many people breached the censorship and published some of the videos. Most of the attacks are being carried out from in the Tel Aviv area. The Kiryat, or the hub, the main command control unit, has been hit. The Ministry of Defense, or the Genocide Ministry in Israel, and the Kiryat includes also the Military Intelligence Directorate and the leadership of the IDF, the leadership of the Navy too. This was the missile that landed on the Ministry of Defense. Then there were attacks on all of the bases that were used to carry out an attack against Iran. So I will leave you with some of these videos, and I will be back with some of the latest updates as well after this. So you can either stay in the chat, or you can pop over to see me continue this live stream throughout the night, especially if we have any more important developments.
Okay, so that one was a pretty big hit, and I believe that's the hub, as he called it, or the Ministry of Defense area there. That one hypersonic missile hit, quite spectacular, quite huge. Yeah, these are no joke missiles around here. They're in these wars. Pretty powerful. I'm going to read you this. A little bit on this. Oh, a funny thing was Times in Israel says, PM, Israel, Prime Minister Israel couldn't wait any longer to strike Iran. IDF confirms hitting Isfahan nuclear site. Now, nuclear site. Well, you know, it kills me. The thing on the bottom. Netanyahu says he gave order in November to thwart nuclear and missile program. Hanegbi says military force alone can't work. Only Trump can compel Iran to abandon atomic program. I don't know why they would say that. Only Trump can do that. I don't think Trump has any credibility at this point. The way things went over on this, it was just so deceitful. And I'm gonna let Larry Johnson explain it.
It seems that as Israeli reported, that the United States helped Israel to make some sort of comfort in Iran, that they're trying to do something diplomatically with Iran, while behind the scene they were trying to do everything to facilitate the Israeli attack on Iran.
Yeah. Trump's lying. Donald Trump is a liar. He admitted today that he knew the date and time of the Israeli attack. He knew everything. Then he said, they've killed a bunch of people that we were talking to. The Iranians better learn their lesson. You know, what Iran and Israel has been just as bad. Netanyahu and his government, they're bragging, we negotiated with some Iranian Air Force leaders. Boy, we tricked them. We got information out of them that they didn't realize we were getting, and we used that to target and kill key leaders. Okay. So, this is like a Hollywood script for Israel. This whole decapitation nonsense. If we just kill the upper leadership, the problem's going to go away. That would be true if it was just a one-person organization.
Oh, Lordy. Why is it every time I play a video that something comes up?
Actually, come to think about it, the decapitation strategy, Jews have been using that now for over 2,000 years. There was this other Jew by the name of Jesus.
Oof.
He got decapitated. They took out the leader there. That killed Christianity off, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
No, it didn't. And that's sort of the foolishness of this strategy. Look at all they killed. Go back to the early days of Hamas. Sheikh Yassin, an old man in a wheelchair. They killed him. Boy, that was going to stop Hamas. New leaders keep rising up because it's not a one-man charismatic organization. It is something organic. Look at all the assassinated Nasrallah. Again, using the same ploy that apparently they used here, or they used here the same ploy they used against Nasrallah. Nasrallah was meeting at a specific site in Beirut in order to discuss an upcoming ceasefire, to work out a ceasefire, a peace agreement with Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And Israel used that as a ploy to kill him. Has Hezbollah gone away? Has Hezbollah been defeated? You know, Israel launched all the pager attacks. Again, they killed a bunch of people linked to Hezbollah. That has not destroyed that organization.
Yeah, and all of those examples are very good ones. He goes on about this, but what I want to say is it's very evil, and you know, deception, evil, you know, these demonic things, they're all demonic. They, you know, deception, chaos, division, that is of the evil one. And let's not forget in the Orthodox Christian prophecies, there's one by, as I said, Father Elpidius, that said, he had said that Russia was going to be the Antichrist to the Antichrist. In other words, the enemy of the Antichrist, and Russia was going to destroy Europe and America. That's his point. That's his perspective, because Europe and America are they worship Satan. Well, listen to the tactics of how our intel and government do things. It's very much demonic. And we're gonna, you know, pride comes before the fall. And you reap what you sow. I used to have a little tape of preschool Bible songs for my son, when my firstborn son, when he was a toddler. And there was a song on there, "You reap what you sow," and I have never forgotten it. And this is part of the prophecies as well, that Elder Ephraim of Arizona, he had a monastery there. He helped to create build many monasteries in the United States. He said every country is going to, you know, pay for all of the sins, you know, because there's so many collective sins. All of our collective sins have caused this to happen, and Christ is going to give us a slap. And he's permitting this war to happen as a slap and a purge. And you'll notice this in, especially in the Old Testament, you'll notice this throughout history, human history, that there tends to be purges of, purges of a bunch of people because of evil and wars and terrible things that happen. But in this, the prophecies on this, though, this is the last time he'll be purging and trying to slap us awake. Because after that, eventually it's the Antichrist coming. So, there's one other detail on this that Trump says in this Reuters article. And I just want to go to that one particular area because I think it kind of explains Trump's, where he's coming from a little bit more. And we can take this however we think we're going to take this. But we knew everything, Trump said, of the Israeli attack plans. Now, you could say that this is him coming clean or whatever, but I don't know. I was really upset over everything, but perhaps I don't know. It's just very upsetting to me that this happened. But anyway, he says, I tried to save Iran. Humiliation, good grief. Humiliation and death. I tried to save them very hard because I would have loved to have seen a deal worked out. Trump said, they can still work out a deal, however. It's not too late. You don't have any credibility now, Trump. You don't have any. Nobody's going to trust you. Do you think Putin is feeling like he can trust you now after what you did? Do you think that they feel fine working with you? Oh yeah, I knew this for a long time. Yet you deceived Iran and I think to a certain extent Putin and Russia because oh yeah, I knew all this. I did this. I knew that. But then you didn't say at the time. You didn't say I tried to do this. You didn't say that at the time. I just find that lack of integrity, lack of honesty. Yes, we're talking about the political world where lying is just a regular thing you do all the time. But, you know, you're working with world leaders here. This is not a real estate deal. It's a lot. Way, way more heavy, more crucial, more important. And there's consequences to it. Anyway, so I shared some of my thoughts on this. I will say, as far as going back to that 7 phases of the war, let me go back to what I was saying here. Almost at the beginning here.
Previous one, and will involve more.
Okay, let's see. Where was that? Let's see, let me bring it up here. Well, there's a part there where they, as you know, the part with the America and Israel, yeah, an attack. That's the second phase. An attack by America and Israel against Iran is imminent. Well, yes, that just happened. When I read this like 4 or 5 days ago, wow, the timing, you know. No idea this was going to actually jump forward so quickly, but that's the only thing we know. We don't know. There's nothing there that tells us how long, what happens after that with that. It doesn't seem to be, although it says, but war will also break out. So apparently, yeah, there's going to be a war. I just watched Metropolitan Neophytus say that the Great War starts in the Middle East with Iran and Israel. So I don't really know how long that's going to be. But there's the other issue it talks about that's going to happen with Greece and the other countries around there. In any case, I think that I got everything out I wanted to tell you for right now. I do thank you for watching, and please follow my channel, like my videos if you like them. You can make comments on there, and whatever you feel like you think of this whole situation going on. You can follow my channel on Rumble and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And thanks so much for your support. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Until next time.